In our previous videos, we got our little Flask project up and running and routing between templates. One issue that we have, however, is that we have a lot of duplicated code. The navbar, for example, is the same in our index.html file, our about file, and also our contact.html file. So any changes that we make would have to be reflected across these three files. One of the beauties of using a framework like Flask or Django is that they allow us to reuse as much code as possible. So in our templates directory, I'm going to create a new file and call it base.html. We'll then copy the contents of my index.html file and paste it into my base.html file. And I'm going to remove my h1, which says homepage, and in its place we'll put an opening curly bracket, a percentage sign, the word block, followed by the word content, and then a percentage sign and a closing curly bracket. On the next line we'll do the same but put the word end block. And what we're doing here is defining a block or an area that we can inject content into. The difference between the percentage sign and the double curly bracket notation that we've used before is that the double curly brackets contain an expression which is outputting something either to the screen or in this case into our href. The curly bracket and percentage are for statements that control the flow of our template. So now that we have that done, let's go back into my index.html file, and I'm going to delete all of the code that I put above my h1 and all of the code that I put below it. We're then going to put in another opening curly bracket and percent sign and say extends and then base.html in quotes. I'll explain what all of this is doing in a moment. We then refer to our block again, which as we remember we called content, and that's going to contain my h1 that says homepage, and then we'll put end block after that. So what's happening here is that when our index.html file loads, Flask inherits everything from base.html. It then looks for a block which we called content and injects this content into it. Now that word content is a word that we chose. We could have called the block anything. And in fact, if we have multiple blocks on a page, that's what we would do. Now when I refresh and go back to my home page, you can see that it displays just the same as it was before. So let me copy this, and I'm going to paste it into my About page. So we'll do that. We'll take out all of this HTML, and then just change the word to About. I'm going to do the same with Contact, delete all of that, and change Home to Contact Us. Now if I save that, refresh my display here, you see we now have Home, About, and Contact Us. But because this is inheriting from base.html, we have a lot less code in our HTML files. This also means that if we make a change, if we add a new root and view, then we don't have to change it in every file. Let's demonstrate that. We're going to create a new root and call that careers. And we'll bind a new view to that, which we'll also call careers. And this is going to return a render template of careers.html. So we'll create our new root and our new view and save it. And now go back to my base.html file and add in a link for careers at the end. So I'm going to copy this list element, paste it in, change it so it's getting the URL for my careers view, and put the word careers inside the link. We're then going to duplicate one of our pages here. I'll duplicate the contact page. change its name to Careers. And inside my Careers HTML page, we'll just change the heading here so that it says, "Come work with us." Okay. Now, when I save this and go back and refresh my view, we can see that the navbar has updated, and it's been updated for every single file because it's inheriting from base.html. So this is very useful. We've seen how to create a template and then inherit from that template in other files using block content. In this series of videos, we've seen how to go from a very simple Flask application that just says "Hello World" to a more complicated one that actually allows us to route between different templates and also inherit from templates as well, so that we don't have to rewrite code. In our next set of videos, we're going to have a look at how to style this.